7 o'clock hour. Good morning. Jim Costa, John Jansen, Heather Park, Greg behind the glass. 2 Grand Slam, 25 minutes away. Red Wing hockey, they play tonight against the Kings. 5 games before the Olympic break. They'll play all 5 without Simon Edvinsson. This is a critical stretch because you want to see them not only keep winning, but also avoid a skid. At the same time, John, they have to do something on defense, whether Edvinsson's healthy or not. Him missing now the next 5 games puts him in a precarious situation. And I know he missed Winnipeg game 2 and they won, but my point is you got a couple tough games coming up here. You want to make sure you go into the Olympic break on a high note.
Well, and you want to be able to win the games that, quite honestly, you should win. And that is 2 games at home, L.A. and Washington, and then it's on the road at Utah against the Mammoth. The toughest ones, obviously, are going to be against the points leaders in the NHL, and that's 1 game at the end of the month against Colorado, and then it's a back-to-back with a couple days rest at Colorado. Like those are 2 games that we were sitting there pointing to, saying we can't wait to see how they match up with the Avalanche.
Right, and this is a huge blow. I mean, the Red Wings' top pair has been one of the elite pairs in hockey. Putting Simon Edvinsson with Mo Seider has been a huge strength of this hockey team. This team blocks a ton of shots. They play well in front of their goalie. In turn, their goalie has played confidently and as one of the best goalies since the start of December. I don't want to pull a piece of the Jenga tower and see slippage here because it's the domino effect. Who's playing up on the top pair now? Well, they take the guy who's playing on the third pair, Jacob Bernard-Docker. Yep. He's been playing up on the top pair. Well, now Hamonic's got to play, who they didn't even want to play on the third pair. Pellica, they've been sheltering and limiting his minutes. So you start looking around and going, which pair do I feel comfortable playing 20 minutes ice time?
Well, someone's going to have to step up. Like you heard Todd McClellan talk about, someone is going to have to step up. It is that next man up mentality, and it's a sprint. It's 5 games.
Yep.
You're going to have to play, whoever that is, your best hockey for 5 games. And in those 5 games, 10 points available. Mm-hmm. What is good to come out with? 6?
6 would be great, yeah. I would think so, especially because 2 of those games are Colorado, who's head and shoulders playing better than anybody in hockey. And I say 6, but like the way the Atlantic Division is, it feels like you always got to take like 8 of every 10. But yeah, take 6.
Well, considering the injuries and considering where they are, and then going into the Olympic break, if they can get 6 out of 10.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Are they locked in as buyers right now, or could a skid alter Yzerman's plan?
No, they've got to be locked in as buyers. They do, because the injury's not going to last the entire season. They said he'll be back after the Olympic break. So, yeah, you've got to find a way to continue to add to this team, no matter what happens within this 10-point period of time.
Yeah, if they win 1 of the next 5 games, that doesn't give you the right to bow out of the buyer sweepstakes in early March.
It shouldn't be that. You shouldn't be on that thin of ice.
No, and I know, look at this guy making hockey puns. And John, I know like how condensed things are. The Wings or any other team is a 5 or 10 game stretch away from being out.
Right.
So that's what concerns me. I don't think they're going to collapse right now or anything, but John, if they do throw 4 or 5 away, come out of the Olympic break and they don't hit the ground running, does Yzerman go, well, shoot, we're not leading the division anymore. We're barely a playoff team. I know how this game goes. We're not going to give up guys for rentals. Better luck next year.
No, I think they're at a really pivotal point, and they need to look at adding as much as they possibly can. This is the season where it's the tipping point. You add and you get to the postseason, and then you take those additions and you build on it going into next year. And so, and I know he said, well, we don't want to get in and just be that team that gets out in the first round. Well, at some point, you got to make a push to get in.
Well, and I think a pushback is, okay, nobody wants to get eliminated, but nobody goes into the NHL playoffs and instantly their first berth becomes a Stanley Cup team. That's incredibly rare. You do need to get in and get a taste of it. And the sooner you get a taste of it, the better it's going to be for a young team that they have drafted, developed, and started to put out on the ice.
And this, more than anything, highlights what they need. They need a defenseman.
Yes, I think it just strengthens that argument.
Because to think down the stretch that this is the only injury you're going to have,
right?
It's probably not reality. You're going to have other guys, even if it's just 1 or 2 games at a time, you're going to have to strengthen the blue line.
Yeah, it felt like the best thing this team could add, and they have a couple needs, but the best thing they could add would be a second pair right shot defenseman. Because Pelika's playing that role right now, but he's playing the fewest minutes of any of their defenders. And it's a lot of power play. It's a lot of offensive zone. Get him out there. He's an undersized player, and by their own admission with ice time, they don't feel comfortable with him in the defensive zone. So that's your second pair. Sherratt's having to carry him. Ideally, he'd be your third pair as a rookie with some offensive upside, and you'd have Edvinsson Sider as your top pair, Sherratt and this mysterious addition as your second pair, and let's rock and roll. We got 2 real pairs, a good goalie. That's the backbone of a team that can get in the playoffs. And I don't know how far they go, John, but have a spine, compete, challenge, maybe take a series.
So what I'm hearing from you is they just need a better pair.
Yes, John. A strong,
that's my hockey takeaway.
Pair.
Yeah.
That's what this team needs. They also need it in the front office, and that's where Yzerman comes in. Is you got a lot out of this Gibson trade. You got a lot of mileage out of it. Well, those are the type of moves that we've been asking for the last couple of years.
And there's
foot on the gas.
Plenty of time to investigate and negotiate. You can't consummate a trade, but I don't think the phones get shut off during the Olympic break. You're still going to be making those phone calls. You just simply can't follow through on a trade because there's a hiatus over the Olympic break, and then as soon as you come back, you've got, 4 games?
Yeah, it's real short there. It's not like NHL GMs are all going to collectively throw their phones in the ocean and go to Cabo for a month.
Right, yeah.
You're going to be able to poke, and while you can't make a deal, you can lay the foundation to make a deal.
Sure. Explore what's available, and then start mulling over and create packages that you think would, be sufficient to seal the deal.
To your point about this being a key turning point, the Wings, I mentioned Gibson's played well since December 1st. The Wings are 19-5-3 since December 1st. They have the most points in the East. Patrick Kane, a leader on this team, said, I think everyone's feeling pretty confident what we have here. We put ourselves in position maybe to go get some players and try to be a team that's a buyer at the deadline. This isn't just Dylan Larkin, sad puppy after the deadline saying, I wish we would have added more. This is Patrick Kane, the greatest American hockey player of all time, saying we're putting ourselves in position to go be buyers. So whether they win 1 or none of the next 5 games going into this break, you are buyers. The task is get this team over the hump into the postseason. And when Edvinsson comes back, have another blue liner to help balance out this team so that you can be a team that makes noise in the postseason.
Now, this statement, I don't believe in this statement. But let's just say out of these 10 available points before the Olympic break, they get 8 of them.
Awesome.
I agree. But does Yzerman then say, you know what? Again, I don't want to be that team that just gets in and gets bounced, and there's nothing that I really like, and I don't want to give up any of my assets. Does he pull the Dan Campbell? We're good. I know. I mean, that's the feeling that I guarantee you there's a whole lot of people driving around right now growling at their steering wheel just like you did.
Okay, so let's say they take 8 of 10, but everybody else takes 8 of 10 because that's what the Atlantic Division does.
Right.
And you're still on the bubble, and you're going to play this game of who's going to fall apart. And it's an unknown coming out of the break. Gibson is playing like the best goalie in hockey. Like, I don't think he is. I think Sorokin this year has been the best goalie in hockey for the Islanders. But Gibson's making a case that he's the best goalie in hockey. When you come back from the Olympic break, what if he's just simply one of the 10 best goalies in hockey? Yeah. What if there's some slippage? What if you don't address the blue line and there's even more slippage? And they don't suddenly become a bad hockey team, but
just not good enough.
The threshold's so high, it's almost like 2 years ago.
No, so having put both scenarios out there, I don't think if they were to get 4 of 10 or if they were to get 8 of 10, I think both scenarios you're looking at it going, we have to get better through the trade deadline for the stretch that is the playoff run.
Text coming in, 248-539-9797. Guys, yet another reason this team should have traded for Hughes and will regret it every day until they're eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree that they should. I think we could all agree they should have traded for Hughes. But if there were no assurances that he was going to sign a long-term deal here, and you may have got, Hughes wants to be in Detroit, but if you make that trade, now he holds all the cards because he knows, is he going to ask for more?
Yep, and he knows he's got two brothers in New Jersey that he can leverage, and he may want to be in Detroit, but want to be in New Jersey more. Without the assurance, it was going to be risky. And I don't want to kill Yzerman over it. Like, I do think he needs to take more risks than he has at this juncture of his tenure. But if the rumors are true and they had to give up Edvinsson and not have any assurances, that's hard for me to kill him over not making that deal.
Right.
248-539-9797. Text says, guys, this whole conversation is useless because we know whatever decision Steve makes will be the wrong one, and we know this team will collapse in February and March. No matter what they do, it's who this team is. It's the roster Steve built. He's useless, and he needs to go. I've never called for him to lose his job. It's gotten tense because it's taking so long.
Right. And this is
kind of put up or shut up time.
Yeah, 9 years, not in the playoffs, and you're positioning yourself for that first opportunity without going double-digit years. Your double-digit disco, they've got a chance to put that to bed.
Let's make it happen. All right, Heather's news and the 2 Grand Slam coming up next. Plus, what is actually the best movie of 2025? If anybody's been watching these Best Picture nominations, I wonder if you have the same conclusion that this show has found. It's 97.1.